Been a very busy week for you. I know.
It has been, yes.
So we're doing this tonight because we wanted to talk about where we were last weekend.
Yes, so where were you last weekend?
I was somewhere where someone came and cleaned the room and made my bed, and there were no children, and food was provided.
Sounds like Shangri-La or some
amazing.
made up place like that. That doesn't sound
I mean, you
real,
were there
right?
too.
Oh,
That was
okay,
nice.
Yeah. So we went to the Weekend Remember last weekend, and Weekend Remember is a 9-session marriage retreat that goes from Friday night all the way to Sunday.
Like at lunch.
Noonish.
Lunchtime.
And so there are 9 sessions in there, and it's just marriage training.
So
they hit all the main topics.
Steps, yeah.
It's main topics: your communication, your conflict, and some things that I appreciated. They did blended family. Had an emphasis on blended families, taking into account a lot of people are now on their second marriage and third marriages.
They had things for military couples, which is one of the ways that we knew about this. In fact, one of the reasons we were there was really because of that military component.
The chapel here at Right Pat a lot of times will give hotel scholarships away for this particular marriage retreat. And so I've been advertising
You've been giving them away.
I've been advertising and giving them away for 2 years, and I haven't gone yet. So I'll get these questions. Oh, was it good? I'm like, well, the material looks really great. You know, I've looked through the material, but I don't know. Are there small groups? I'm not sure. So now I can actually talk with knowledge and say, okay, yes,
from experience.
It's certainly worthwhile, and go do it.
Yeah. And I think the other reason, when you asked me to do it, I was a little like, why do we need to go to a marriage retreat? But I think one of the reasons we went too is because you have recognized, especially with a lot of the marriage counseling you've been doing,
that you need a lot of help, and we need to go to these marriage retreats.
That's what you've been learning through all your counseling, man. Every time you're like, well,
it's always someone else. That's right.
Oh, it's a good thing you didn't say that to me before we went. It would have been a little less amiable. It wasn't me. I mean, it was partially me because I'm part of this marriage.
Well, the other thing is that counseling couples come into my office, and so I'll just try to get kind of an idea of where they are. And one of the questions I ask is, what have you done in the past? And they will
for counseling.
Well, what have you done in the past for marriage training, or how have you tried to make your marriage better? How have you gotten better at it? I do that because I want to know. Where they're at as a couple, and if they say, well, we've never done anything, well, then I know, well, then there's a lot of probably just basic stuff that they don't necessarily, low shelf, that they don't necessarily know.
And I don't think you would tell them that a retreat is the only method for strengthening.
You could read a book together, you could go to a seminar, you could go to a retreat,
do a Bible study.
Do a Sunday school. I mean, whatever you do though is going to be helpful for you as you move forward.
Right. So when you told me you wanted to go to one, there was a part of me that said, "Why would I need to focus on our marriage? Our marriage right now is pretty good." It wouldn't have been if you told me that I was the problem. But at the time, I was thinking, and I still do, that our marriage is fairly solid. You know, there's no huge crisis moments that we've been facing lately. And so there is that temptation to think, I don't need to go to this type of thing. And what you had mentioned to me that I think you mentioned to the couples in your office is you want to work on your marriage when it's good so that when it hits those bumpy sections, you're prepared.
And that's one of the things, just in general, you can take with you. When things are going well, that's the time to prepare. That's like a gift from God. It's time to prepare.
When your kids are good for a while and life is easy, and
now get better at parenting. Get better at your marriage. Get better at whatever issue that you're facing.
Yeah.
Because you get a little respite from the fight.
Right.
So how often do you think then we should do these sorts of things?
How often you should work on your marriage?
Yeah.
Like intentionally.
Yeah, like a book or a retreat or something.
I think once a year is a good goal. I don't know that it has to be very specific to marriage. Sometimes, you forget that marriage is just a microcosm of how to live in a relationship. So you could deal with even if there's something you feel like you're not good at. So for example, we had talked about my anger problem, and now I'm reading a book. I'm tackling that problem. But that will have implications for our marriage. And so you could read the book too, and we could discuss it.
But I don't have a problem with anger. I'm totally cool.
But I think that's the kind of thing where you could even turn that into something to strengthen your marriage if you did it intentionally and said, we're going to read this and work together on how to implement that inside of our relationship.
So some things that we've done in the past. I mean, let's try to think of some. We've
read a book together.
Started out with like Sacred Marriage by Gary Thomas. That was one that just
That
sort
really
of
helped
like
us.
marriages to make you holy.
Not happy.
Not happy. It's not the primary one. We've done What Did You Expect by Paul Tripp.
Which is excellent.
I've taught a Sunday school lesson, and each one of those we chewed over pretty well.
Yeah, the young married Sunday school
beforehand.
class. We did. We chewed over that stuff. Argued over that stuff.
I would say chewed.
Discussed it thoroughly.
We've
gone to a retreat.
We've gone to Laugh Your Way to a Better Marriage because that was what I did. Strong Bonds for the Military. Of course, we've done Weekend Remember. We just did that. And we've done several in Bible studies along the way. In our, 14 years, going on 15, we've done quite a few things.
And they were all helpful.
Right now, we're going through the Love Dare, right?
Oh, we are. And that's also been excellent.
Yeah.
Not what I expected. I'm guilty of really...
She's skeptical of all marriage material.
Yes, I am. So I was skeptical of the Weekend to Remember. I was skeptical of the Love Dare, but both of them proved me wrong and, showed me that I should be humble and not think the worst of things.
Right.
I used to be so optimistic.
Must be living with me.
I must have been. Oh, goodness. But you're probably more optimistic. We've rubbed off on each other.
People describe me as optimistic all the time.
Do they?
All
the time? That one time.
Yeah.
The guy that didn't.
I wore that one shirt that said "Life Powered by Optimism." People are like, "Oh, you believe that?" I'm like, "Well,
my wife got me this.
I aspire to believe such things."
Okay. So, specifically in the Weekend to Remember, which of the sessions did you think was helpful?
The conflict one was pretty good because we didn't go to that and we just had a conflict, so that was kind of neat. So
you're just embracing that whole idea of transparency, aren't you? Yes, so
which one was the
conflict?
for you?
I read it. It was very good. We were in conflict during that. See, Satan knows. He will throw things at you. This is just like a side parenthetical statement is that don't be surprised if when you start working on your marriage, something comes up and it makes it hard to do so. We were at a marriage conference and we started arguing, and I can only imagine that Satan was thrilled. So, but we worked through it.
We did work through it, and it was very good.
It was very helpful, actually.
And I think partly too, it just is a matter of we finally have some time with each other to talk about things.
That's true. So yes, conflict we assume is wonderful, but we're not sure. It looked great. I thought actually the why marriages fail was well done in that again they were realistic in saying marriage is hard. Marriage is hard, and here are some things that threaten your marriage now. And I thought that was a good way. They started with that. And I thought that was a good way to open the retreat because it was, establishing the reason why you're there. So I thought that was excellent.
Marriage is the micro world of us trying to love people, which is, one of the two greatest commandments, love God, love other people.
Yeah.
And so in marriage we have this, if we can't do it to the people closest to us, then we're probably not going to do a great job with the people in the body of Christ.
Well, they went over the whole idea of you look at yourself, you ask, for help and change.
And that's the way to go into these things. God, what do you have for me?
Right.
Because I was joking before about saying it was, Liz need to go to these things. But you really need to go in and say, God, show me something that I need to change so that my marriage will be a better reflection of you and really bring you glory.
Yeah.
So I highly recommend Weekend to Remember.
Yeah.
Switch off babysitting with a fellow...
Find another couple.
A friend couple. You won't regret doing that.
No, you won't. It was very good. We had some very good friends, very, very good friends if they're watching this, who have been after us to go, and so we did. And their encouragement was very helpful. Oh, we're being called. That's what we didn't have for a whole weekend. It was so wonderful.
Mom?
Yes?
I have a question.
Do you? You say hi?
Huh?
Say hi.
Hi, who are we speaking to?
That camera.
Like, what do you mean?
Everyone who views this video.
What do you mean? Are we gonna post this on YouTube?
Yeah.
What? Ah!
Weekend to remember. Worth going to. And then you appreciate
Mommy,
when you come home much more.
Mommy, Mom.